Digestive imbalances. In this video, I'm going to be talking specifically about gas, bloating, undigested food in the toilet bowl, and an overall feeling of just gassy, bloated, and just messed up from the food that you're eating. So for those of you who are familiar with small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO, or what people call Candida as well, even things like irritable bowel syndrome and Crohn's disease, which are usually further along after leaving this very easy fix unaddressed. This is all very related, okay? So this video is going to be about gas and bloating, okay? This is not for people who are like nauseated and just can't eat a lot, and when they eat foods, especially animal protein, they bloat up and they just don't feel hungry and they feel nauseous. That's different. That's a lack of stomach acid. If you have nausea and you eat a bunch of animal protein and you feel full and you can't eat a lot and you feel like your food sits in your stomach, if you have acid reflux, those are caused by a lack of acid in your stomach, a lack of stomach acid. Believe it or not, acid reflux is caused by low stomach acid, okay? Most people, they can't wrap their head around this. They're too stubborn, they're too attached to the mainstream idea that they need acid, antacid medications and yada yada. That's unfortunate because they're just going to kill themselves that way. Without stomach acid, you can't assimilate most of the vitamins from your food, can't digest food in general, and your body can't produce methylation, which can set you up for all sorts of mood imbalances. It sets you up for further digestive problems, and it sets you up for just bone issues and all sorts of horrible issues. So if you have acid reflux, go to a different video. I have videos on acid reflux, search it up. But anyway, so if you have gas and bloating, if you have, if you do a lot of farting and stuff like that, and you see like your toilet bowl looks like a vegetable salad, listen. I mean, obviously salad's made of vegetables. Listen, okay? Especially if you just start eating healthy, or if you've been trying to eat healthy and you notice all this gas and bloating. Here's the thing. Some people, for whatever reason, usually it's from a long history of antibiotics, even one course of antibiotics can cause this issue. It might not happen right after the antibiotics, but maybe a year or 2 years after taking antibiotics, this can happen, okay? This can happen, and it can be directly related to antibiotic use, okay? What can happen is your gut bacteria, the good bacteria in your gut, your probiotics, they can be killed off by many different things, especially tap water, especially antibiotics, pharmaceutical prescribed antibiotics, not necessarily antibiotics in meat. It can kill off your gut bacteria, and then over time, your gut, your good bacteria, your probiotics can shift in a way that causes malabsorption and food intolerances. And when you have these food intolerances, what happens is you'll eat things that you think are healthy, things like beans, things like nuts, seeds, things like brown rice, and most of the whole grains. Legumes such as peanuts, lentils, peas, green beans. These are all essentially lentils and beans. People don't know peanuts are actually lentils. They're actually beans, essentially. Legumes. Anyway, you develop food intolerances, and these are usually the culprits, okay? Uncooked broccoli will do this as well. So in general, these foods are known to cause gas for anybody, but especially with people who suffer from these intestinal imbalances, you're gonna walk around with a stomach full of these these foods. And for some people, what happens is your body doesn't even break it down into fiber, okay? People always say, oh, like the reason why you poop out, you know, your food's undigested is because of all the fiber. But no, that's not true. The people who say that have no clue what happens in the intestinal tract when food is attempting to be digested. They don't know what they're talking about. Okay, they haven't done their own research. They're just repeating things that they've read on WebMD or some kind of magazine. Okay, if you're pooping out, you know, beans and you're seeing like different colors in the toilet bowl, that is not a good thing. Okay, that has nothing to do with fiber. Nothing. That means that your body is not breaking the food down at all. It hasn't even begun to digest the food. Okay, it's not good. It has nothing to do with fiber. Okay, that is a clear indication of, for one, an unhealthy digestive tract, but mainly a food intolerance is how you should think about it. Okay, and I went through this for years. This was horrible because I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat healthy now, blah, blah, blah. And I was eating all sorts of black rice, brown rice, purple rice. I was trying to eat sweet potatoes and Okinawan sweet potatoes. And I was eating a lot of beans and whatnot. And it would make me feel horrible, and it would all go into the toilet bowl. It was horrible, and I felt horrible. If you have these symptoms, especially seeing food undigested in the toilet, but you know, even if it's just excessive gas and bloating and what people call SIBO and what others might refer to as Candida, which I know that they're supposed to be two different things, but a lot of times people overcomplicate this when it's actually very simple. If that's the case, you need to go on you need to eliminate a lot of foods. Okay, so an elimination diet is the best way to know for sure what's causing it. And I can tell you probably all the foods that are causing you these problems, but what you want to do is go on an elimination diet, and you want to be very strict and vigilant about this elimination diet. You want to have faith in this elimination diet and do not give up on it. And when you find what foods cause you problems, keep them out of your diet for at least 3 to 6 months. If you can't go 3 to 6 months with these foods out of your diet, you've got psychological problems, okay? You're a slave to food, and food is not serving you in the way that it should. Food is nourishment, okay? All the cells in your body are actually formed and created by the foods that you eat. So it only makes sense that you use food as a way to nourish and build yourself, rather than you are like so attached to eating these foods just because they give you pleasure, okay? If you're having gas and bloating and all these digestive problems, you're not healthy. You're not gonna feel healthy. And no matter how much nutrients they may have in there, it's not doing you good. It's not working. It's actually not healthy. So you do the elimination diet, you stick to it, and it's a matter of trial and error. And you know, at first it's gonna suck because you're gonna be like missing these foods. You're gonna, like, the withdrawals will kick in. It's gonna be emotional withdrawals, memory withdrawals. You're going to have, you know, you're gonna see the effects of the mental attachment you have to foods. But over time, when you let go of all that nonsense and you just realize, holy shit, I feel so much better outside of these, you know, mental attachments, it's a lot easier that way. And so let me tell you, at the very least, what I realized, okay? But what I think most people will probably find too, if you're experiencing the same symptoms that I did. What you'll find is that it's the type of carbohydrate that you eat, okay? Let me say it again, it's a type of carbohydrate that you eat. You can think of it as tough starches, I suppose. But here's basically the diet that I would recommend you get to. You should eliminate all foods except for these foods. Okay. So meat, like animal protein of all kinds, eggs, fruits and vegetables. Okay. And realize that the majority of your carbs are probably going to be coming from things like bananas. Okay, bananas you should have no problem with. And then, so fruits, vegetables, animal products. Eliminate all dairy. Eliminate dairy. Okay, but you can have like whey protein isolate. Okay, that should be okay. And then egg protein isolate. And by the way, if you're vegan, this is going to be very hard for you. This is actually, I found out that I had this problem when I went vegan because veganism emphasizes all the foods I was actually intolerant to. And then the carbohydrates that you're going to be eating, white jasmine rice. White jasmine rice. Make sure that you cook it properly. And you can try, but you might have an issue at first, but try white potatoes, yellow potatoes, white potatoes and yellow potatoes, okay? Stay away from Idaho potatoes or brown potatoes or whatever, rosette potatoes, baking potatoes. Don't eat those. Stay away from sweet potatoes. Stay away from purple potatoes. Any of those exotic potatoes, stay away from them. Just try white potatoes and yellow potatoes and white jasmine rice and bananas. Those are your main carb sources, your main sources of starch, okay? These carbohydrates are not going to affect your blood sugar in the way that sugar will. Just because everyone refers to them as, you know, white carbs and bad carbs, ignore that, okay? This is about your digestive health. This is about feeling the best that you can and eating the healthiest that you can for the condition that you're in, okay? Also keep in mind that white and yellow potatoes have a lot of nutrients in them that a lot of people don't acknowledge, okay? They're very high in magnesium, potassium, I believe even copper, and I think vitamin B6 or vitamin B2, and then bananas are very high in magnesium, potassium, vitamin B6, and they're also pretty high in amino acids as well. I wouldn't recommend you get all of your calories from these things, but I'm just saying if you're going to eat carbohydrates, these are the ones you want to eat. And especially if you're an athlete, this is important. You need these carbs, okay? And I found this out through experimentation and a determination to get rid of my digestive problem. I was too caught up in like, oh, super grains and you need these good carbs and the squash and all this stuff. And, you know, brown rice better than white. And I just had to accept the fact that I can't eat those foods. And now I feel so much better. So there's that, okay? And then as far as like, you know, fats, I mean, you should be fine except for butter. Butter can feed into the dairy intolerance that most people probably have. Ghee, I haven't tried ghee, but I don't really see the point in consuming these things unless you were trying to like, I don't know, fry eggs or something, but forget that. Now the foods you want to avoid. Okay, so at a baseline, if you're eating processed foods, fried foods, if you're eating at restaurants often, if you're eating, especially at fast food restaurants, if you're eating packaged foods, frozen foods, if you eat a lot of wheat products, if you eat a lot of cakes and whatnot, if you drink sodas, you should probably just turn this video off and, you know, you've got a long ways to go because you're wondering why you have digestive problems but you're eating all that crap. It sounds to me like you've got a mental deficiency in that case scenario. And I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I mean, come on. Like, you have a digestive problem but eating all that crap? You have nobody to blame but yourself. Like, of course you're going to have a digestive problems if you're eating all that junk. Really. And if that hurts your feelings, that's once again clear indication that you have no clue. You have no clue. I mean, I'm here to educate. I'm not here to, you know, talk down on people, but I've worked with a lot of people who had this issue where they can't understand, like, hey, you know, if you have a health condition and you're not doing all the things you should already know are necessary, why are you complaining? Let's start with the basics, right? So yeah, that's an even deeper issue. But, you know, so you obviously want to eliminate all that. And then eliminate beans, lentils, peas, chickpeas, green lentils, all the lentils. Green beans are beans and lentils, they're not vegetables. Eliminate corn, especially corn. Eliminate all whole grains. I know that sounds like, whoa, why is he telling me to eat white grains? You know, people are gonna have an ego trip over that, but look, I'm giving you the realistic advice that I know will work. I'm not here to appeal to authority, okay? It's not good for you, not at this moment. Whole grains are not gonna do you good. They're gonna cause more digestive problems. Stay away from wheat, stay away from all whole grains. As far as grains are concerned, the only grain you should be eating is white jasmine rice, okay? And then of course, stay away from nuts, stay away from seeds, remove dairy products. You know, once again, nuts and seeds, dairy products, beans, lentils, what else? You know, I mean, all grains. Corn is a grain. People don't know that. So, you know, remove peanuts and anything that you eat. Anytime you eat a protein bar or something crazy like that, you need to look at the ingredients, okay, and make sure none of these are in there. You know, soy, stay away from soy, stay away from soy protein. And, you know, unfortunately, I've tried it. You know, I've tried eating hemp protein powder. I've tried eating like soy protein powder. I've tried doing pea protein, and these tend to give me issues, okay? And also, let me put it out there that I actually was getting psoriasis at one point when I consumed a shit ton of these foods. This was all I was eating, especially when I was vegan. And I developed really bad psoriasis because that was all I was eating. And my digestive system was just wrecked, okay? It was horrible. Stay away from sweet potatoes, purple potatoes, and you might actually not be able to eat tomatoes at first either. I remember I had an issue with that at first, but these days I'm fine. Also jalapeno peppers and chili peppers and things like that. They might also cause you issues. I believe I had issues with those as well. And also be aware of peppermint and peppermint tea. And I remember I would try to eat goji berries, and I could drink the tea, but anytime I would eat the goji berries, I would poop them right out. So, and I don't know if that's common or uncommon. So yes, nuts, seeds, legumes, you know, all of those like whole grain type foods that you can think of, okay? And literally just try to stick as close as you can to, you know, just meat, fish, eggs, potatoes, jasmine rice, bananas, fruits, avocados, lots and lots of vegetables, okay? And when we're talking about spinach, or if we're talking about kale, like remove kale. That's going to give you problems. Kale is going to give you problems. Spinach might give you problems at first. Carrots might give you problems at first as well. Cook carrots, okay? Steam them until they're soft. And in the first week or two, they might give you problems, but afterwards you'll start to be able to digest them. But at first you'll have problems with carrots. Steam them. And leafy, soft leafy greens will be fine. You want to cook broccoli if you're going to eat that. And for the most part, that seems to be about right. Coconut should be fine. Coconut milk and whatnot should be okay. Olive oil, as long as it's good olive oil, should be okay. But you really don't want to be consuming all that saturated fat. Just in general, you know, unless you really, you know, want to do that and you don't really feel like it's a big deal. You know, I think that you should get away with it for a while. It should be fine. Just try to, you know, moderate that. But the key here is optimizing digestion, because how the fuck are you going to feel healthy? How are you going to have energy if your digestive system is under all that pressure, right? If you do this diet the way I'm telling you to, and you stick to it, and you're really, really strict about it, for, you know, a couple months, I know that within a couple days, actually, you'll feel better. Within a couple days, all your symptoms should go away. You should feel fine. But keep in mind that, you know, if you have acid reflux and whatnot, your problem is probably low stomach acid. Okay? So this won't work for you in that case. And if you're on other medications and things, keep in mind that, you know, and this is just my observation, I'm not a doctor or whatever, but a lot of medications can cause severe digestive problems too. Medications can cause all sorts of horrible diseases, and I say that with sheer confidence. I don't say that as a conspiracy theorist, okay? They legitimately cause diseases as side effects. It's unfortunate. So, what else? Yeah, so I mean, go through with that and, you know, get the majority, you know, try to eat the bulk of your diet utilizing vegetables, lots and lots of good vegetables, and fruits as well. You know, if you eat jasmine rice, eat a large portion of jasmine rice with a large portion of vegetables, you know, and then maybe a little bit of fish on top or something like that. You know, you should be good. So, yeah, I mean, that's for the most part. Also, stay away from alkaline water, okay? If you drink alkaline water, or if you drink purified water with minerals added, that's going to dilute your stomach acid. You do not want to consume alkaline things like that, things that that raise the pH of your stomach. So alkaline water will do. Instead, you should be taking 2 to 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar about 15 minutes before every meal, and that will do you much better. Okay, otherwise that alkaline water is going to be working against you. If you're drinking alkaline water, oh man, you're killing yourself. So yeah, leave your questions and comments down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.